I see it, Dave. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Great. So, yeah, the only thing I wanted to say is anybody who's participating in the Ram Rally, feel free to text me. If you have any questions or you want to jump on a phone call or hit me on Facebook Messenger. Any of that stuff is perfectly fine as we kind of head into the rally. And let me see if I can get the overview up here. So, for you guys that haven't seen one of these before, essentially a Ram Rally is a navigational challenge. So, what you do is you got teams of 2 to 5 riders, and the objective is to score as many points as possible by reaching individual waypoints across this huge challenge field. So, where it is different than a lot of things is that nobody defines the route, right? We just have this challenge field with a bunch of possible waypoints. And so each team is going out there and figuring out how they're going to ride that particular, well, essentially they're creating their own route and how they're going to ride it. So, you know, as it shows up here, the strategy is about finding the most efficient way to do that. Now, you'll still have a great time if you just go point to point to point. You'll still have a blast. But if you kind of want to get into it and strategize with your team and try to figure out how to actually optimize the route, that's a lot of fun. Um, but a lot of people refer to it as like a choose your own adventure game, which is kind of cool. So, general rules: each team gets to choose their starting location, and they choose their route. Every team must have a minimum of 2 riders, and a lot of that is, well, there's a reason for that because there's really 2 positions that you have to make sure you have, but also it's just a lot safer to ride with 2 people or more, and it's a lot more fun. I mean, if you dump your bike and you got a 500 pound bike, it's always nice to have somebody help you pick it up, or if you dump it in a ditch or something, to drag it out. So anyway, there's as far as the Ram Rally goes, there's roles, 2 active roles. One's the navigator, one's the tracker. I'll get into that a little more detail. Um, all the motorcycles must be licensed and insured for street riding. So pretty much everybody that's going to be at an ADV rally is going to have that. But obviously, you don't want to take a dirt bike out on the road. So you want to make sure you've got a properly licensed vehicle, and then just because you're participating in this navigation challenge, you still have to conduct yourself in a safe manner. You still have to observe all laws. It doesn't give you a license to just like do 150 miles an hour on the highway or something. So what a challenge field looks like. So this is actually a view of the challenge field that we're going to be working with. There's over 550 waypoints so far. Was there a question there? You guys feel free to ask questions if you have questions as you go on. But so the whole idea is there's this huge challenge field, and we potentially could even add more up until the time the rally starts. We typically don't like to do that. We like to give everybody at least a week to kind of get their plan together. But there's a lot of opportunities, and pretty much all the riding around the Palmetto ADV Rally is what we've tried to accommodate. So the active roles, as I mentioned, you've essentially have 2 active roles. You've got the navigator. He's usually the person in the front. He's the guy who's got the. I'm gonna. You guys still good on audio? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So the navigator is the guy who is essentially leading the pack. Whether you have 2 guys or 5 guys, he's the guy that's he knows the route. He's got it on his phone or whatever navigation mechanism you're using. A lot of people use Gaia. A lot of people use Google Maps. If you're really hardcore, you might be using road books. You might be using paper maps. Whatever floats your boat, you can use as far as the navigation. But you've got the guy in the front navigating, and then the guy in the back, or somewhere behind the navigator, is the guy with the tracker. So he's the guy that's got our app running on his phone, and essentially there's a button on that app that just says "Make Primary Tracker." Whoever clicked that button last, that's the bike that's actually being tracked, and that's the bike that actually registers the points, and you can actually see we're gonna pull the phone up live here, and you can see what it looks like. But as you actually reach a waypoint, the color will change from white to green. It'll get darker and darker and darker until you finally get the point, and then it'll register on another tab, and it'll show you how many points you have and all that kind of stuff. So it's important to have these two roles. So you've got one guy who's kind of leading the pack, and one guy who's tracking to make sure you get all your points. And obviously, you can switch in and out from those various roles. You can have a different guy doing the navigation, and you can have somebody else to switch the person being tracked. All they do is they just pull out their phone and press the button that says Make Primary Tracker, and now they're the one being tracked. The official score for the Ram Rally itself is the points on your phone or the points on the leaderboard, whichever one is higher. And why they might be different is, let's say, I know the Palmetto ADV Rally is not near, not really doesn't have good cell coverage. So let's say there was a couple of points that were right next to that, right? You might pick those up on your phone, but if you don't have cell service, they might have not have transmitted up to the main server, and you may not see them on the leaderboard. So if the guy's just like, hey, it says I've got 55 points and I actually have 57, the 57 stands. If somebody was the primary tracker and their phone died and somebody else, like installed the app fresh and then just logged into it, they might have gotten 30 points originally and now they've got another 10. The leaderboard will show 40, even though that person's phone might only say 10. And so it's whichever one of those scores is higher. Does that all make sense as far as the active roles and the, all that kind of stuff? You guys tracking?
Sounds good so far. I don't know if anyone else is.
Cool. So let me do a live demo, and I think I'm gonna start out with just walking everybody through getting set up on the actual on the website and the app and all that, just so everybody is comfortable doing that. And let's see here. So if you guys have been following, pretty much all the posts, you'll know that there's links out there directly to the Palmetto ADV Rally Ram Rally. If you don't know how to get there, you can always just go to our website, hit find or organize a rally, either go down to South Carolina or go down to just rallies by date. And the newest one coming up is the PAR 2024, the Palmetto ADV Ram Rally 2024. And you come in here, you hit create an account. My little I'm not a robot thing is giving me fits. Okay, cool, motorcycles. All right, you happy now? All right, well, I'm just going to try to log in with that. Let's see. I may have already created an account under that. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. All right, so after you create an account, you'll get an email just to confirm your email address. And you'll click a link, and it'll say you're good. And then when you log in, it'll just take you right back to the landing page here. Actually, I'm going to come in this way just so you guys see this. So register a team. When you go to this page, it'll tell you a bunch of stuff that's included in the app, kind of some cool stuff you guys can use even outside of a Ram Rally. But you just click register now. Let me log in. And then I will pick a team. I'm going to go with Enduro Explorers. I don't think anybody else is going to choose that as a name. And put in your special code, apply the code, register team. All right, cool. So now you have a team. And hey, Mary.
Hey.
Are you hearing me okay? Feel free to stop me if you guys have any questions or anything. So after you've registered a team, then you actually register for the rally itself. And it'll just default to whatever team you just entered. Come in and put your code in again.
Want to put a picture of them.
and then register that team.
That is the picture. Yeah.
Cool. So once you've registered a team, it'll drop you right into this list of away rallies. So if you were signed up for a bunch of rallies, you'd see them all listed here. From here, you can get back to the landing page, where you started.
On that team.
You can download all the waypoints. So essentially, this will give you all the waypoints and all the various file formats. And then the thing I'm going to do is just do a mobile app check. So really, you can just start out in the app and log in, and it'll go through everything with you just fine. But I put this page together just to make it like step-by-step instructions. So I'm actually going to pull up a phone here, but this little thing here will just, it'll tell you where the app is and all that. And you just, allow everything because it just needs to be able to track you and all that kind of stuff. And you say join a rally, you log in here. All right. I'm just doing this on both phones so you can see it. It's virtually identical on an iPhone and on an Android device. Cool. So then you'll see your team. You click on your team. It'll show you all the rallies you registered for. Typically just this one. It'll ask you to sign a waiver. You say sign waiver and start tracker. And so now basically it's actually not tracking you until the rally starts, but it will show you essentially the waypoints and how far they are away. And so, just to make sure that everything is 100%, what you can do is you can come in and say make primary tracker. And when you do that, it will just send a ping to the backend server, and you can say test app here, and it'll essentially show you that your tracker ID actually like registered in the date and your current location. If you want, you can even like say show on map, and it'll just show you where you are. And so you can do that on an iPhone or an Android device. So at this point, you're good, right? You're ready to go. It'll show you that the rally is going to start Friday, March 22nd, 9 a.m. And that's 10 days, 13 hours, and 45 minutes. It'll just keep counting down, until the rally actually starts. And then the last waypoint is enabled an hour before the rally ends. Sometimes we'll make that a higher score if we want to incentivize people to come back. One thing that I wanted to mention is, because this may not be obvious, there's way too many waypoints for anybody to capture in the whole the whole day, right? So that it's you want to basically just create a route that you think is going to be fun and interesting and ride that route. You can ride it with purpose, but the whole idea is just to have fun. It's impossible to get all the waypoints. There's just way too many of them. The other thing is right now we've got this set up, over an 8-hour period. That's a lot of, if you're actually riding, serious riding, that's a lot of time. If you guys feel like that's too long, we could actually dial it back. Or if you guys, want to treat it just a little more, just kind of, you might decide that you want to like go out in the morning, come back, get some lunch, then go out, in the afternoon, and just kind of keep it low key. I'd hate for somebody to ride for 8 hours hard and then be sore for the next 2 days, while they're trying to enjoy the Palmetto ADV Rally. So if you guys tell me that 8 hours is too much and you just can't resist riding hard for the whole time, we could make it a shorter duration. We can do that.
So Dave, let me ask you a question
Sure.
real quick. What are the hours that you have now currently?
Right now we have 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., which is an 8-hour period.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think that's perfect.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, it's. I think everybody will have a great time. Just if you don't want to go flat out for 8 hours straight, right? Take a rest. Smell the flowers and all that kind of stuff. Enjoy the sights. Some people might be able to go 8 hours flat out. I know that Travis can. I don't know if he dropped off, but anyway. So that's how you get the app set up. It's super simple. Mainly, you install it and then you just join a rally and you're good. But this page will pop up just so you have complete instructions on how to do everything. And then if you really get tied up, just give me a ring. I'm available for sure.
Hey,
So,
David,
yeah.
can you hear me okay?
I can. Hey, Chris.
Hey, yeah, cool. It's Chris here from Australia, Brisbane. It's great to see everyone here on the chat trying to learn about it. Dave is just, I will say, is just full of information, and sometimes I just blur out, and I'm like, man, I just want to ride, and you're like, oh, it's just like we put so much planning and into making this app user friendly, and but there is things to do in the background, like same as checking your tires, tightening your chain if you need it. But it is as simple as what I say to my guys over here is you just go online, fill it all out, remember all your passwords, remember all your logins, and then you literally just jump on the phone, on the app, follow the prompts, fill in the boxes, and it will just work. It's not as complicated as what you might think. I get my guys onto it. I got people ranging from 16 up to 74 years of age, and they get it. Some of them, there's a bit of a struggle sometimes, and they're like, I don't know how to use this app. But if you just take that little bit of extra time and then you just punch it into your phone, it will all just flow. Download the waypoints and just ride your track.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I'm trying to cover everything under the sun, and sometimes I do overdo it. So I'm going to come back here. I think you guys saw where you can download the waypoint. So I'm going to go ahead and just download a GPX format. That's pretty much the most popular format, and that works for almost everything. And I'm going to go through.
We use Gaia GPS app over here, and I've just been downloading it through the app on my phone.
Right. Yeah,
it just goes into Safari, does a download. I import it into Gaia, and then I've got all the waypoints within 2 minutes.
Yeah, right here on the phone, you see where it says download waypoints. That'll pull up the same exact screen. You can download them right to your phone. A lot of people do it entirely on their phone. I was going to show you guys a free way to do it, and then the Gaia way. Obviously Gaia is not that expensive, and a lot of people love it. And Onyx or anything else you're using is very, very similar. So let me show you the an easy and relatively free way. So I'm going to go to Google My Maps. So if you have any type of a Google account and you go to My Maps, it'll just bring you here, and it'll say you don't have any maps if you've never used it before. And then you can create a map, and you can I'll call it PAR 2024. And you can then take the GPX file that you just downloaded, and you can upload it to that. And you can probably do this right on your phone as well. And so once you do this in Google, if you go over to Google Maps, let's see here, Google Maps, and you go to your saved items, and you go to Maps, it'll show you that map, and it'll show you all your waypoints, right? So this is like the free range. They call it a chalk chase in Australia. It's kind of like I just want to run free.
It's a chook chase.
Yeah, it's a chook chase. You basically just.
It's a chook. Chook in Australia is like a chicken. We just call it a chook chase because you just can go from point to point, and you don't actually make a map. You just go. I'm just going to go from point to point and just do it as efficiently as possible. And but you're constantly looking at the map, expanding it up, shrinking it down. So you've got to understand when you do a chook chase, you're probably stopping quite a bit, and thinking, 4 or 5 miles ahead, and then stop, work out where you want to go again. So it's very broken,
right?
And it's not a very smooth rally.
Yep. So the thing is that by taking the step of if you literally just upload a map, obviously you're just doing whatever you're doing. If you upload it to Google My Maps and you go into like Google Maps, at least you see all the points and you can see yourself and you can kind of get an idea, And so that's like the super no planning, I just want to ride, that kind of thing. And you can make it happen just through that. And then if you want to take just a little more time and sit down with your team and figure out kind of like, how you want to do it, and you want to kind of optimize and kind of get the full experience of doing the whole thing. Let me see if I can. So I think the campground's around here, right? And so if I say, well, I want to start up, maybe I want to start down here, and if you say directions to here, right inside of this Google My Maps, it'll let you start and essentially build a route, and it will kind of, as you click, it will be a little bit temperamental here, but as you move your mouse pointer and click, it will help you build your route, and that same route will show up in your phone just like this whole map. So you can just sit here and kind of, figure out where you want to go and plan your route that way, get your team together and kind of figure out where you guys want to ride and where you want to pick up the points along the way. So this is kind of like the second level. Still not a lot of planning, but more than none. And then if you really want to go kind of the premium route, let me pop up Gaia GPS.
What's everyone using for mapping? Just jump in while Dave's getting that up.
I'm using a XT.
XT, Garmin.
Yeah, DMD2.
Yeah, I haven't used the DMD, but can you plan a route on the desktop and then it transfers over?
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of those apps you can do that, and that's really where it makes life a lot easier, because then you're just kind of riding and you're just following as it's helping you navigate, and so I'll just quickly create one in Gaia. Most of them are very, very similar to this. This is just the one that I started with. So essentially, as you go along the route you want to ride, it will kind of band to the actual roads and things, and so you can just kind of let me change the color here so it's something easier to see like that. So you can basically say, all right, here's where I want to go, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it there, but as I'm clicking, it kind of just follows the road around, and you can use this to create a really nice route, and then once you're done with it, you can pull up the app, and then it'll just basically, just you're kind of following the app through the whole entire route. So it just makes it super kick simple. But any kind of software that'll do that, Google Maps is free and relatively easy, so that's one that is a great free option. It'll even print out turn-by-turn directions like on paper if you want that, and then Gaia is kind of a it's a paid product, but it works pretty well. So if you want to just sit there and with your team and create a route, this is kind of the way I like to do it, because it's after you've done this, then you just basically have the app up on your phone and you're just following it the whole way. So what I will say is that when you do the RAM rallies, just preparing for them and just going through this process, you get a lot better at navigation. And then when you actually go out and ride it, and then you come back and you do another one, you actually, I'm just kind of throwing things up on the board here, but you do get really, into kind of how to do the navigation stuff. And then you, of course, can take this and pull it up either here or in, Google Earth, and actually look at the topography of what you're riding in and figure out if that's where you want to be and all that kind of stuff. It's really kind of you can really kind of get into it, and that's part of the strategy of the whole thing. Is that once you're in there and trying to kind of strategizing how to actually run the rally, that's when it kind of really gets interesting, because it's part you as who you are as a rider, but it's kind of the strategy you put together beforehand, and then of course the ability to choose kind of the type of ride you want to do. So if you have a bigger bike, you might do more, gravel roads, things like that. And if you've got a 500 or something, you might be doing stuff that's more hilly and washed out, and whatever ATV tracks and things like that. And so you can kind of tailor the whole experience to how you want to do it. So we kind of went through the free range routing. We went through the kind of the Google My Maps option. You can get the turn by turn direction even in Google Maps. You just have to sit there and kind of like put it in as stops. And then you've got the Gaia GPS option. I think Garmin will do a very similar thing, and OnX I believe will do a very similar thing. I've kind of personally I like the way that Gaia works, even though from time to time it'll give me fits, but most of the time it works pretty well. And usually I can do all this stuff on the phone itself, not even having to have it on a desktop. So I do like that. And then so let me ask again if there's any questions about the whole Ram Rally, what to expect, anything like that.
I got a question, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, so if there's very limited cell service at going to be at the rally,
Yep.
I guess folks is going to ride in this Ram Rally, they need to have all this stuff entered into their phone before they get there, correct?
I think that would be a good idea. So the app itself, the way it's designed, is it doesn't need cell service to operate. So when you log into the app and you join the rally like we did on the app, everything is running in the phone. It doesn't need cell service for anything. The only thing it's using cell service for is it's pinging the server on where you are, so we could see you on a map, and then it's pinging your current score. So like there's a leaderboard that everybody can see, and the leaderboard just makes it real easy for whoever's handing out the awards to kind of see where people are, and I guess most people when they're riding they don't check the score, the leaderboard, but you could, if you wanted to. But at the end of the day, let's just say hypothetically there was a point right inside the campground and you had zero cell service. You could just show the phone. If you guys see this is like the markers tab, and this over here is the points tab. This big red circle will show you your points. And if you click this points tab, it'll show you actually individually all the points you scored, all the waypoints. So if there were ever a discrepancy, like where you said, hey, I didn't get that last point because we're out of cell range, you could just hold the phone up and show them, hey, I scored this point. But if the app is going in and out of cell range, every time it gets into cell range, it'll sync up everything it's got, and it doesn't act any differently if it's inside or outside of cell range. Does that answer the question, or?
Yeah. Do you have to have cell service to actually set the account up to start with?
You do have to have cell service to download the rally to the phone. Once it's downloaded, you don't need cell service anymore. But yeah, initially when you're setting it up, you want to set it up either on on Wi-Fi in your house or when you've got cell service initially, just to get it on the phone. But once it's on the phone, you don't need any more cell service. Any more questions around that? Does all that make sense? I just wanted to show you guys. So one of the things that that we're doing. Well, actually, let me show you just one other thing before I go off on a tangent. So your team roster, if you want to invite other people to join your team, you can just come in. You can just log in. Let me just do that again slowly so everybody sees it. So you go to the website, you hit log in. It'll show you, the current year and the teams you have registered. Everybody will just have the one team, whatever they called their team. And then when you click on that team, you'll go to this team command center. This will show you the fact that you're registered for the PAR 2024 Ram Rally. It'll also show you your team roster. So right now, on my team, it's just me. If I wanted to invite somebody else, I could just put in their name, let's say Joe, their email address, and my name, and that'll shoot them a invite, and they'll show up on my team roster. And as soon as they accept that email, they'll actually be able to log into the phone and join the team. So if you're not with the physical people, as long as you have their email address, you guys can all be on the same rally and get set up remotely before you meet up on the ride day. So that's something I'm glad that I covered there. Just so you want to have at least 2 people, but you can have as many as 5. The reason we cap it at 5 is obviously the bigger the group, the slower the riding, and it after 5 it ends up being tough to actually compete with guys that have 2 people on their team. And then the things that we're doing that are kind of interesting going forward is we've got these ideas of a practice field and a test track, and so those are for people that want to get familiar with the software and the app kind of before they actually run in the Ram Rally. They potentially could use that to kind of try the app out before they actually ride in the rally, just to get used to it. So that's also available. And the way those things work is, the practice mode is literally it just simulates a rally. So you could just give it a lat and a lawn and a number of waypoints. It'll just spam a map with waypoints, no regard for where roads are or anything. Or you can upload a GPX file, and it'll essentially give you a semblance of what it's like to run in a rally, but not really. It's not tracking you in real time. It's not doing anything like that. And then this test track is essentially a lot like an actual rally. It's just that it's only you that can run that rally. You and your team members are the only ones that can actually, see it. So anyway, so we're trying to do some cool stuff there to make sure that everybody is comfortable with everything they're doing. But anyway, any questions about the Ram Rally or anything at all? Cool. So as far as it goes on actual, on the Friday, Ram Rally day, so, Travis, who's on the call, he's kind of going to be my representative, if you will, at the rally. What I've basically talked to him about is, if something happens where somebody's unhappy, like they think they should have gotten more points than they did, or they have a question, or who knows what, basically they may come to him, and then they'll just get him in touch with me, whoever the person is, and I'll deal with whatever potentially could come up, and then Rick is going to be the one to actually hand out the awards at the end. So we'll typically have first, second, and third place, and he'll just kind of call them out and say, hey, these guys placed first, these guys placed second, these guys placed third. And I've got some stickers and awards and stuff like that, So that's the way it'll go down on Friday. So I was gonna drop by, basically. Let me show you guys what these look like. So I've got these waterproof Ram Rally stickers. I don't know if you guys can see them. They're kind of 3-inch stickers. They're kind of cool. You guys see those? So I was gonna give each team that participated, 6 of those stickers, and then I've got some medals that are actually like Olympic style medals, first, second, and third place. I was gonna give those out to the first, second, and third place team. All right, guys. Well, I think that is everything that I wanted to cover. Do you guys feel comfortable about everything? Does everything make sense?
Hey, Dave, do you want to sort of reiterate what, the minimum requirement is to run the rally, as in go to the website,
Yep.
create a team. Once you've got your team, And on the website, you can literally close that down, go onto your phone, use the same login details, and then just use your phone, and that's it. You don't even need to go back to your desktop.
That is true. So yeah,
That is what I tell my guys over here. I just say, all you need to do is just do that. You can do it on your phone, but
yeah,
I say desktop is a bit easier.
yeah,
And if you just want to reiterate that, just to show you, it actually is not as complicated as what it
right,
could be. There's so much stuff. There's so many
Yeah.
avenues to do it.
right.
It can be a bit confusing.
Yeah, if you go to the landing page for the Palmetto ADV Rally, and you just do these 3 steps. So this is create an account, register a team, register for the rally. From that point, you can just log into the phone. There's nothing else you have to do. It's all, you're all good. You can get the waypoints right from the phone and all that. If you're more comfortable on a phone, literally you can do all this from a phone. You don't need to be on the desktop for anything. You can just do it all right through your phone. I was just demoing it, on a desktop because I'm sitting at a computer. But yeah, it is really just that simple. You basically just create an account, register your team, register for the rally, and then you can log into the phone and you're good to go. Am I missing, Chris? Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I
All
hope
right.
you guys have a good time, and yeah, don't think that you need to spend you don't need to spend a lot of time making a route. You can just do the chook chase, as we call it here. Go from point to point.
Right.
And it's really good fun doing that. Sometimes it's just like yep, and you can just change leaders. We're really in our teams. We're really fluid to who's in front. We're not so in my team. You don't come unless you got the route or you got a pre-plan, and we just stick together. Always have the last person in your rearview mirror for safety reasons, and then just keep chopping and changing. If someone just wants to shoot out in front, just shoot out in front, just go for it. But then when they make a wrong turn, you can just give them heaps of grief.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I definitely, I've done it both ways. I've done it just the chuck chase way or the free range routing way, however you want to think about it. And I've done it also with sitting down and trying to plan out the route. And so, I thought it was very cool to do that. So really, whatever floats your boat and whatever, is going to be the most enjoyable route, that's the way to do it, just have fun. Basically, at the end of the day, it's just another way to kind of amplify, what you're already doing. All right, fellas. Well, if everybody is good, then I'm good. I will take this recording and I'll put it up, I think on I guess I'll put it probably on YouTube on a channel that doesn't get any views, and then I'll put the link up on Palmetto ADV and for anybody else who wants to just watch the video, and probably take an hour or 2 to get that up there, just depending on how long it takes to convert it and all that. But I think we're good to go. I'm pretty excited, and I'll be watching everything constantly. I'll be on my computer watching everybody run and fielding calls. I have to drive a truck. My son's robotics team, they've got probably a couple of 1,000 pounds of equipment that goes in a trailer, and there's nobody else that'll drive the truck to haul that stuff and then get it unloaded and everything. So that's the only reason that unfortunately I can't be there on site, but I will be there in spirit, and I will be there on the glued to the computer watching you guys. So, and then of course
I'll be watching you too from the other side of the planet.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's part of the cool thing.
Dave,
You can, yeah.
I just want to thank you and Chris. I mean, how many rallies? This is awesome. Okay, first off, we got an Aussie from Australia on this call, and that's pumping up the rally. So first off, Chris, thank you so much. Secondly, this is an awesome experience for you guys. I mean, I don't know of anywhere else you can go in the United States and get this kind of experience at a rally. You get 2 rallies in one, essentially. So I want to thank you. The only last thing I want to say is, what does Ram Rally stand for? And I know you've posted it, and I know, but I want to hear it.
So Ram Rally came around. I'll give you the quick brief if you want to hear it.
Word.
You can understand my bloody Aussie accent, mate. So I used to go riding with different groups of guys, and I used to get super annoyed because no one knew where they were going. And we'd stop at corners and we'd deliberate whether we were going to go left or go right or go straight ahead. I'm like, there's got to be something better. And then sort of COVID hit. I'm like, people need to know how to navigate. Like, they were just wandering the earth with no plan, no nothing. So I just came up with this row gaining. So row gaining is it's a part of orienteering. So orienteering is a big sport all over the world. The Northern Europeans are pretty much the best at it. The Norwegians and the Finns, they're pretty good. And a row gain is actually a sub game within it, a bit like futsal is to soccer, or soccer, futsal, indoor soccer, things like that. So it's a sub game. So we're not 100% true to what a row gain is, because a row gain, what you do is you start at a start line and you go out and you try to get as many waypoints as you can and then come back. And then there's a formula for waypoints over time. So you could go out for a run off the start line and you could get 10 waypoints and then come back. And then that might only take you an hour. But then someone else will go out for 2 hours but get 30 and come back. So there's a formula within the row gain that you work out, and that will give you your position. So, but with COVID, we just thought I wanted to start from anywhere, finish from anywhere. But then as COVID sort of ended, we then started, we want to make a community around this. We wanted to get everyone back at the end. And like, even here, it's just so amazing when we all come back in at the end and everyone's like, all the teams are there and we're all sitting at the pub having a beer. And we just all like talking about where we went. We're all pretty much in the same area, but haven't seen each other all day. And like maybe in our rallies, I come across one other team in 5 hours, and that's it. Everyone goes different directions, and then you come back and you hear all the stories, and everyone has a great time, and they're telling each other where they went, and showing each other where they went on the maps. And even before the rally, it's 2 hours away from where I live. The night before, we're all sitting around in our teams, and then we're trying to get tips from the other team. We're like, no, go away. This is our track, and it's private. And we're just really getting to that sort of competition part of it. It's not really a big competition, but, like some of the guys, we played tricks on each other. I filled up one of the guys' jackets with rocks. He left his jacket hanging off his bike, and I filled it up with gravel, so weigh him down a bit. And we're just playing different tricks and games on each other beforehand. But then when we hit the rally, it's run the rally and then come back and tell good stories and about where we went and what was good and what was not. And yeah, it just sort of took off from there. And as I started doing them, I think I'm up to like 10 rallies now over here. So we've done it in different ways. And then I met Dave on the internet and through a video, some of the videos on YouTube. Some people have made videos over the 2 years, and put them up there. If you put Ram Rally in, search down, there's a few from Australia. There's quite a few videos from Australia, actually.
So the Rogating Adventure Moto is the name. That's where the Ram came from, and so Chris was doing all this, and there's a guy named Curtis who has a YouTube video a channel called On the Back Wheel, and Chris and Curtis are buddies, and so I was I had a KLR at the time, and I was like, what can I do? What can I compete? How can I compete with this KLR? There's nothing I can enter, And then I'm flipping through YouTube, and I see this Ram Rally, and I'm like, that is it. That is what I want to do right there. And so I got a hold of Chris through Facebook, and I was like, man, you got to teach me how to run one of these, And so we started talking, and as we talked, we're like, well, there's these challenges with getting all the rally GPS trackers and stuff, all that kind of stuff, coordinated. It's a lot of logistics and all that. And so we started talking about, well, can we make it into an app? You know, can we make it like a website and an app and do it that way? And so, you know, we worked on it for a long time, he and I, and we ended up doing the first one, you know, in upstate South Carolina, October 21st of last year. And I mean, it was a blast. And the thing that was so cool about it is like, I actually was able to run in it at the same time, you know, that I was putting it on, you know. So it's like, you know, once people are out and about, there really isn't anything to do until we're all back together again, you know. So it's really a cool venue, and a cool just
that was definitely one of my big things. That when we created it, when I first started doing it, I said, I don't want to make something that I'm just going to sit back and do for everyone else. I wanted to compete in it as well. Not that I would ever come first or anything. I think I did once, purely by accident. But I really wanted to do it myself, and then like creating something and giving it out to everyone else and running all the background and doing all that sort of stuff. And I see so many people running rallies over here, and they have people donating their time, and we just wanted to create something where even the organizer can compete. And I think that was one of the big key things.
Yep.
Sorry,
and so,
back to you.
yeah, hopefully the whole idea will catch on, and we'll continue to grow it, you know. I mean, it's a heck of a lot of fun, and I enjoy riding in them. I enjoy organizing them. I think it's just a really great, you know, a great thing for the whole ADV community. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll do this for years and years to come.
No, I think what you guys got going on here is awesome. It's amazing. And we're so thankful that you've decided to bring in the Palmetto ADV Rally into your realm. From here in America, Chris, we love you, bro. Thank you so much for all you do. Dave, you know, we've talked many times. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And this is an amazing Zoom call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day. Dave. And well, Cheyenne, thank you for letting us be part of your rally, man. I mean, you know, it's going to be a fun time for everybody, I'm sure. And I can't wait to be there next year. So anyway, I'll get this up as soon as I can.
Me too.
And
I'll be there next year.
Yeah, Chris is coming over.
Or you heard it her first. You know, we're gonna have an Aussie. All right, come to the Palmetto ADV Rally. That's awesome, right there,
well,
baby.
What time? Well, I'm coming over in your summer.
So what time is it over there in Australia?
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm at work. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I'm doing the Trans-America Trail next year. Yeah. I'm 50 next year, so my birthday present to myself is I'm buying a bike, meeting Dave in Atlanta, and then I'm going to go out to the easternmost point and then do the Trans-America Trail right over to Oregon. So.
All right, bro. I'm going to turn 50 next year, too. I want to be on that with you,
let's
bro.
Do it. Let's
do it, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, more the merrier. We need some locals. Well, awesome. You can get away a lot. You can get away with a lot in America with this accent, I think.
Sure.
Especially dude. America. Look, the ladies will love you.
Good.
I'll edit that part out in case your wife is watching. Yeah. All right, fellas.
Hey, thanks, guys, again. Thank you so much for everything.
Talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. I'll be watching.